He wanted to hurt you. He wanted to hurt your family. His tackles were so thunderous, fans could hear the crack from the nosebleeds.
Here comes James Brooks. Oh, is he crushed? And you know that's a Ronnie Lott tackle where you hear him all the way to the top row.
Art Monk was on the receiving end of one of those. A tackle so hard, it pretty much messed me up for my career. What are you saying, guys? It's Zane here. Let's get into the video. Monk and hundreds of others were stopped cold by what became known as woo licks. Why woo? Because that's the sound the crowd would make every time Lott connected. Now, if you want to know how hard those hits actually were, Lott has some simple instructions we can follow. Grab a football, throw it in the air, and before you can catch it, have your best friend, although I don't think he's going to be your best friend after this, have your best friend belt you with a baseball bat. No shoulder pads, no helmet. Just you, your best friend, and the biggest Louisville slugger you can find. That kind of power didn't just hurt others, it hurt him too. Lott estimated he knocked himself out at least 6 times in his career. His style had been inspired by previous hard hitters, Dick Butkus, Ray Nitschke, Jack Tatum. Carrying their torch, Lott took control of the middle. If you cross through there, it's at your own risk. And that was the point.
Anytime the ball came across the middle, I've always felt you got to try to destroy the person. Because if you don't, he's not going to respect you.
When you see Ronnie taking out guys on film, it puts thoughts in the back of your mind.
Early in the game, do you try to establish physical superiority over the receivers you'll be covering?
Do I try to establish physical superior? Oh man, where'd you get these questions from?
Hey, just hand it to me.
Yeah, so I walk out there and I measure myself up to him physically, and I look at this gentleman and I say, "Gee, you're such a stud, but I'm gonna knock the out of him."
He played like a wrecking ball with a mission to crush anyone in his path and make them think twice before ever coming back. But beyond sending a message, Lott believed one hit could shift the momentum of a game. That was clear in Super Bowl 23, because while most remember it for Montana's late game heroics, it was Lott who set the tone long before that final drive. The Bengals had rookie Ickey Woods in the backfield, a one-year wonder, thanks to injuries, who rushed for over 1,000 yards in the regular season and 228 in the playoff games leading up to the Super Bowl. With his first 4 carries, going for 27 yards, he showed no signs of slowing down.
The Cincinnati running game was dominating our play at that time. And Ickey Woods, each time he'd get the ball, it seemed that he was getting stronger. You could sense that. I was in the press box, and you could sense him taking over the ball game.
Despite being 30 pounds lighter, Lott exploded into Woods, delivered a classic woo hit, and held him to just a 2-yard gain. A message had been sent. It just knocked Ickey's spark right out of him. The game turned right then, because Ickey just didn't run with the same authority after that. Woods would rush for only another 52 yards on 16 carries. So from almost 7 yards a carry down to about 3. The Bengals lost 20-16. Those momentum shifting hits translated to team momentum as well. I think it's imperative to have a guy like Ronnie Lott around your ball club, because he makes everyone else better. Coming out of USC, where he recorded a career-high 8 interceptions in his senior year, Lott was expected to make an immediate impact. At 6 foot and a solid 203 pounds, he brought a level of physicality to cornerback rarely seen. Bill Walsh said he may just be the best athlete this club has at this point in time after drafting him. But the 1981 49ers had a bad start. They opened the season 1-2. Then in week 4, they were clinging to just a 7-point lead over the Saints in the 4th quarter. Ronnie Lott stepped up, returning an interception for a touchdown to seal the game. What followed was a 7-game winning streak and an 11-1 record down the stretch. So, after going 8-24 the first 2 seasons under Bill Walsh, after Lott arrived, the 49ers quickly flipped the script, finishing 13-3 and winning the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that's all on Lott, but his contribution cannot be understated. He recorded 7 interceptions and returned 3 for touchdowns. That made him the second rookie in NFL history to do so. Not only that, he made the Pro Bowl, was named first team All-Pro, and finished second in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting, behind only Lawrence Taylor, so we can forgive him for not winning. But he wasn't done. He would follow that up with 3 more consecutive Pro Bowl seasons, solidifying himself as the heartbeat of a championship defense. But in 1985, Lott already seemed to be aging. Bill Walsh thought he was starting to lose a step, so he made a bold move. He shifted Lott to safety. It wasn't a seamless transition. Lott described the 1985 season like on-the-job training. But he studied the game obsessively, and it paid off. Despite missing 2 games due to injury, he finished the season with a career-high 10 interceptions and a Pro Bowl nod, and was named first team All-Pro. That happened a lot in his career, so you're going to be sick of me saying that by the end of this video. Lott would see his career ascend to the next stratosphere. But it wasn't just skill that made the transition work. Football is a mental game as much as a physical one. He didn't just want to win the games, he wanted to win every single play.
This is a guy who utterly refuses to lose. He does not understand the concept of giving up. He does not understand the concept of defeat.
He mastered the X's and O's, but also went beyond the playbook. He studied the art of war to understand how to dismantle his opponent psychologically. Part of that was intimidation. His hits definitely sent a message. Yet, at times he treated football like literal war. In his rookie year, after getting his lip busted by Falcons receiver Alfred Jackson, Lott saw Jackson later in the game and just sucker punched him. Of course, he was ejected and fined, but Lott would come to master the mental side of the game. Pete Carroll marveled at his warrior-like attitude, and his martial arts teacher said, "The greatest tool is overcoming pain," and what Lott excelled at was such mental toughness that he looked past the pain. That attitude could not have been clearer than on December 22nd, 1985. Lott had played through all kinds of injuries. On the sideline, I'm always trying to trick the doctors into believing I'm alright. When they say, "You're out the game?" I say, "The hell I am." But in a game against the Cowboys, he shattered his left pinky. Blood gushed out, and the finger was basically hanging on by a thread. Still, he taped it up, finished the game, and played the next week in the wildcard round. However, the finger hadn't fully healed by the offseason, so the doctors gave him two options: have surgery and miss part of the 1986 season, or amputate it. In what has become part of NFL law, Lott chose to cut the tip of his pinky off. Okay, let me just pause. This wasn't for the Super Bowl, it wasn't for the playoffs. It's so he wouldn't miss the start of the regular season. But this wasn't a big deal for Lott. He was inspired by old school legends. Larry Wilson played a game with 2 broken hands. Jack Youngblood played through the playoffs on a broken leg. Who needs a pinky anyway? It's not important to be known as someone who hits hard. It's important to be thought of as a guy who gives it his all. Yeah, cutting off the tip of your finger makes that pretty clear. That career-high 10 interception season he had, it came right after they chopped off his pinky. But over the next few years, Lott would miss some time with injuries, so the 49ers, who were known for letting go of aging veterans, decided to move on. After 10 Hall of Fame seasons, they exposed Lott as a Plan B free agent, so he signed a 2-year deal with the Raiders. But now he gets to Oakland, and he has to learn a completely new system after a decade with the 49ers. Also, he moved to strong safety, a position he hadn't played since college. Add to that, he's had injuries, he's getting older. Can he really overcome this? Yes. He treated that year like a rookie. Yeah, the Canton-bound defender was humble enough to take on the role of a rookie again. After a shaky start, Lott finished the season off strong, leading the league in interceptions, earning a Pro Bowl nod, and another first-team All-Pro. Even though his final 3 seasons weren't as productive, he had plenty more to give. He missed just 1 game, and he brought the same all-out intensity to every play. But it wasn't just the hard hits that had defined Ronnie Lott, it was his intelligence, which is evident by the fact he was able to excel in 3 different positions. Yet off the field, his brutality gave way to deep empathy. What's good about understanding the brutal side I have is recognizing I have a soft side too. Described as a hitter with a heart, he displayed genuine care for others. For example, he had a neighbor's friend who was battling cancer. He just shows up to the hospital unannounced and spends hours with this guy. As the wife would recall, "For those few hours, Ronnie gave my husband peace of mind."
And I really believe that if you go out there and you can get some respect from your mom, your dad, your friends, the city of San Francisco, and your teammates, 10 years from now, the most important thing that you'll remember is that when you see some of these people that are in your life, they will respect you for what you did on the football field. Bottom line.
He left the game with a boatload of respect, both off and on the field.